Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Reading with Shilo. We back up in here 2 times today for the second edition. The second edition of Reading with Shilo. For the things your parents should have told you. We already got started on a little bit earlier. It was definitely a lot to think on. But we're going to jump into the next section, which is money. Money. Money, money, money. Money. The things your parents should have told you. There's definitely a lot of stuff I should have been told. Definitely a lot of stuff that I know was worried about when I was growing up that shouldn't have been. So if you're new to the reading, we're going to get into it. Get your dictionary. I got my dictionary highlighted for things I don't know, words I don't understand. We're going to look them up and see what's what. Keep in mind that I'm reading this for the first time right along with you, but we're going to push through it. We're going to push through it and add another book to the list and see what's what. Try to get this done before the Sabbath come in. All right. Money, money. Section 2, money. Money, money, money. Money, oh, she said it. Money, 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 money. Money. Cash dollars, greenbacks, Benjamins, dead presidents. The driving motivation of the majority of the people in America is to get money as much as possible, as quick as possible. Any which way you can. It seems we taught you to like nice stuff. We might not have taught you directly, but we did always allow stores, magazines, and shopping malls to show you a variety of material goods and teach you to lust after all kinds of clothes, shoes, and cars. You have been bombarded since birth with advertisements specifically designed to influence you about what to buy. The number of African Americans in America total about 26 million, which is roughly 10% of the total American population, which is about 280 million. This means we rank as a very small group in a big picture. The other approximately 250 million people in this country are whites, Caucasians, Asians, Hispanics, whites or Caucasians, same thing, Asians, Hispanics, Indians, and other nationalities usually categorized as people of color. You may have heard that together, all of us blacks earn about 500 billion a year. I use this term earn loosely because we all get money from a variety of sources, not always considered as earning it. Out of this 500 billion a year divided by us, the 26 million blacks means we each are credited with having about 18 to 20,000 a year apiece. It stands to reason that our parents did not teach us a great deal about the handling of money because they didn't have any. Not in large, vast amounts similar to many successful white and Asian families. Nevertheless, we have not shown you how to earn and handle money properly. Thus, most of us have not acquired any great wealth to leave to you after we die. Sorry. Our parents were mostly poor and they struggled along trying to provide us with the certain basic needs, usually all of what we needed and some of what we wanted. Others managed to live the ideal middle upper class life surrounded with all of life's conveniences and status symbols. Many of you are privileged and come from stable middle class families where money flows somewhat freely. Others of you come from family backgrounds where you had to scratch and scrape for everything you got. Poverty is a debilitating thing to experience. Being poor does so much mental and emotional damage. It creates greed, selfishness, and envy towards those who do have the money. It is not so much the money as it is the things that are flaunted before us all day, every day, and advertised in such a way as to make you think that if you did not have a certain item, you are unworthy, square, or unacceptable. This is an advertising trick to get you to buy everything on the market in the finest of stores and the best of brand names. Since we give you no real aim and purpose or instructions about what to do with money and how to keep it, you are trained to rush out and spend every penny you get as soon as you get it. You claim you want to be different and you will buy any item at just about any cost just to hear someone say, "That looks nice," or "That looks good." Self satisfaction is not enough unless someone else compliments you on the outfit or item. We blacks are rumored to have the largest amount of disposable income than than any other race in America. We like hurry up and buy. Mhm. Oh man. They played on us the same way, and we tried to give you a lot of things we often couldn't afford because we were denied those things when we were a child. We tried to overcompensate and it just got out of hand. So now the whole marketing and selling district of America plays on the weaknesses to buy and own certain things. You have made thousands of white designers rich. You have made every corner grocery store owner rich. Oh, I believe that one. Every brand name product has taught you to advertise for them for free of charge by placing their symbol or emblem all over your clothes and shoes. You are a walking billboard. Few of you purchase clothes made by a few fledgling black clothes designers. Few of you purchase clothes made by a few fledgling black clothes designers. We are proud of the Wu-Tang Clan for coming out with a line of sportswear for you. The Shabazz Clothes and Carl Kanai and Fat Farm, Fubu, Lugs, Willie Smith, and a few others. Buy their clothes for yourself and for your children. They represent the largest number of black urban clothes designers we have ever had. You are already far ahead of us in recognizing that you should be making and selling clotheslines of your own. Ask these are white men who have gotten rich off of your style ideas. Try buying the best quality, not the most popular white man's names. Those names are just like code. They say you worship and promote people who only recognize you as a dollar sign. The only value you have to them is that you spend your money with them. The only value that you have to them is that you spend your money with them. And you help them promote these ideas by agreeing body. Shit. Like them Jordans got higher and higher every year. All these other clothes skyrocketing. But it's not really hip. It's not really hip. It's not really hip or in. For maybe it's becoming better for people to wear their own clothing line and own clothing styles. It's becoming better. But for the mainstream, it's not really their hip. They say they want some exclusive stuff, but the minute they start clowning you about your exclusive stuff, they're gonna take that thing off and get something everybody else got. That peer pressure. That peer pressure be busting them over the head. Shit. Make your own stuff. I'm cool with that. Be different. And you help them promote this idea by agreeing to pay whatever they charge just to wear their names on your body. You should not have taught you. We should not have taught you to just concentrate on decorating your bodies with clothes, shoes, jewelry, tattoos, and hairstyles. Although we set a bad example about spending money with other races, it would be progress for all of us if we would spend your dollar with your own kind. Understandably, some of you think that it doesn't matter who made the item as long as you like how it looks. But that's dead. You ought to be concerned about giving all your money away to other races. You ought to be concerned, man, about giving all your money. I am reading The Things Your Parents Should Have Told You by Sister Shaharazad Ali. The Things Your Parents Should Have Told You. We're on section 2, money. Money. Section 2, money. Section 1 was good. There was a lot of stuff in there parents should have told us. We should not have taught you to just concentrate on decorating your body with clothes, shoes, jewelry, tattoos, and hairstyles. Although we set a bad example about spending money with other races, it would be progress for all of us if you would spend your dollars with your own kind. It would be progress for all of us if you would spend your dollars with your own kind. Understandably, some of you think that it doesn't matter who made the item as long as as long as you like how it looks. But that's dead. You ought to be concerned about giving all your money away to the other races when your own kind are in need. You ought to be concerned about giving all your money away to other races when your own kind are in need. Every generation thinks that the generation before them had it easier to survive. You think that things were cheaper and easier to acquire during our youth. And since most of you do not make enough money to acquire large items such as a house, car, a business, new furniture, etc., then you might as well just spend it. Just spend every penny you got on clothes. This is a flawed calculation. You have got to look at it and see the bigger picture about money. We all, youth and burn out, a new problem possible for you. We taught you to work and spend, get and spend, borrow and spend, charge and spend, and we were wrong, and it is keeping you from saving. I like that one too. This is not a new problem. It is very difficult for us to save and nearly impossible for you. We taught you to work and spend, get and spend, get and spend, borrow and spend, charge and spend. And we were wrong, and it's keeping you from saving. It's keeping you from saving your money and pooling your resources together to build something or start a business. Let's go back and read it again. We taught you to work and spend, get and spend, borrow and spend, charge and spend, and we were wrong, and it's keeping you from saving your money and pooling your resources together to build something or start a business. We were never taught to go into business and provide jobs for others. We were taught to get a job provided by someone else, so we taught you the same thing. Some of us had it so hard as children ourselves with strict parents, too many household chores, not enough playtime, no extra money or allowance, no car or jewelry. So we worked extra hard in many cases to acquire these things for ourselves and for you. We pass these bad habits on to you, and you are passing them on to your own little children by making brand name clothes important to them too. Little elementary school children know a Tommy Hilfiger garment. The white designers are aware of your reckless name brand spending, so they manufacture their clothes in sizes from birth to plus size big. They want everyone to be able to fit their clothes. It's not personal. They just want to make money off of you any way they can. Oh, yes, it's true. You are being used so they can live in luxury and laugh at you behind your back. You are creative and you are talented. So design and make your own clothes and shoes, man. Like that brother in jail. I forget his brand, man. There's a brother in jail who designed some clothes and had like a little runway walk with his clothes made from the I want to say the mattress lining and some other stuff in jail, and his stuff was fly. His stuff was fly. We can do it. We can do it. Throughout the entire civil rights movement instigated by people such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., uh, Jesse Jackson, SCLC, marches, and the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, all we asked for was two things: a job and the right to eat, shop, and enter white owned businesses. This is all we demanded. Of course, the right to vote could be included, but that also failed as a tactic to get ahead. Now we have you for granted. You do not know of the time when you couldn't shop or go where you wanted. We should have remembered you. We should have reminded you, excuse me. The civil rights movement was a time during the 1960s when many of our parents and us marched and protested against not being able to eat in white owned restaurants, shop in white owned stores, and stay in white owned hotels. But we had all of our own stuff already. We didn't need that. We didn't need to eat in these stores. Our food was better anyway. Wonder what it would be like if we'd have went the other way around, if we'd have stayed segregated, if we'd have banded together more as a people, if we'd have been like, the hell with your civil rights, we just gonna do our own thing, keep building it up. I wonder what would happen. More inclusive. I think we'd be better off now than we are. I mean, I think we would be better off now than we are now. If our educational system was at a higher standard then, how much more higher would it have been now? How much more would our children be ahead? How would our school systems work? Just some thoughts. The civil rights movement was a time during the 1960s when many of our parents and us marched and protested against not being able to eat in white owned stores, shop in white owned stores, and stay in white owned hotels, and also to get hired for jobs in their business establishments. At the top of the list was the right to vote, ride in the front of the bus, and to have protection from the law against brutal racist attacks made by whites against all of us over this country. By 1970, we had gained most of these rights, and our so called black politicians and ministers met with the white folks in the White House and negotiated for other anti poverty programs, including access to white schools and white colleges. We believed that laws would eliminate racism, so we relaxed, got jobs, and started to party thinking that all of our other racist problems would dissolve and we would live happily ever after. We just kept saying, get an education, get a good education. But we didn't tell you the purpose of the education or what to do with it after you got one. We believed we won the civil rights battle, but we lost. We learned that gaining the rights to patronize their businesses had nothing to do with recognizing or accepting us as equal human beings. It was a decision based on economics. They decided that if we wanted to give them our money, that they would let us on a limited basis. So since we, the parents, had already achieved these rights, we did not teach you anything about the next stage of freedom, which is entrepreneurship, going into business and becoming independent. Not bad, excuse me. Yeah. So since we, the parents, had already achieved these rights, we did not teach you anything about the next stage of freedom, which is entrepreneurship or going into business and becoming independent. All we taught you was how to spend your money in other people's businesses. Not that we realized that our goals of the 60s were a mistake, and that now that we realize our goals of the 60s were a mistake, and that we should have spent that time trying to do something for ourselves like everybody else, we are embarrassed and disappointed to see you being played on by white advertisers who trick you into spending all of your money with them. You keep the malls full in every city, and no matter how far you have to travel, you will make the trip just to give other people your money. Man, there's something strange about money that makes us want to spend it as soon as we get it. The American dollar has not failed since 1930, yet we seem to hurry up and get rid of it before something happens. We don't what? We don't what? Your first credit card is fairly easy. I didn't understand that. There is something strange about money that makes us want to spend it as soon as we get it. The American dollar has not failed since. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. We don't what? Your first credit card is fairly easy to get these days, and you have a record of maxing them out within the first 3 to 6 months, defaulting on your payments, and thus you begin a downward spiral of a bad credit history. Take it from me, and sometime of it in your adulthood, at some time in your adulthood future, you're going to wish you had good credit, because while it may not be important now, one day it will be. And if you mess it up now, you'll be sorry later. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. You must work to overcome your expensive desire to possess material things. Think about all the stuff you already have that you bought and no longer wear or use. Somebody, not you, is getting paid on your wish to have stuff. Often because you like it, or because everyone else has it. That's the main one, because everyone else has it. Or because it is so expensive, it distinguishes you as high class and able to afford everything. Sometimes you owe so much money and you have to work so much to keep up your payments that you don't have time to enjoy what you have. You live and dress as if you have already made it in life. Your expensive clothes are worn to be a sign of your status in life. Credit info you will one day need. Let me see. Credit info you will one day need. We'll see. Credit info you will one day need. Number one, when you are out shopping, start picking up credit applications and practice fill them out with your bank customer service rep or an individual who already has credit, and make sure you fill out the form properly. Number two, processing costs and how much yearly interest you have to pay on the card. That's definitely a good one. As an example, if the credit card has a spending limit of $500 and the interest of about 20% a year, usually 19.8, then that means you will pay the credit card company $100 a year for the use of their card. If your limit is $1,000, then 20% is $200 a year. Your interest is calculated on your unpaid balance. Costs to open the account may run from $29.95 to $69.95 a year. This must be paid once a year, every year, on the anniversary of the day you receive the credit card. Do not buy groceries with your credit card unless you are able to pay more than the required amount each month. Because once you run your credit card bill up on things that you can no longer see, you will not be too motivated to pay it off. Once you run your credit card bill up on things you cannot see, Once you run your credit card bill up on things that you can no longer see, you will not be motivated to pay it off. This also can ruin your credit base. And my boy Uzziah would like this. He would like that part. He would like all this part. Also, the late charges can range from $15 to $25 per month if you do not make your payment by their due date. Keep all receipts in a box. Number 3, if you apply for a credit card and get turned down, do not go to the store and raise holy hell with the clerks. When you are turned down for credit, you have the right to get a free credit report for up to 2 weeks at karma.com or any free service online. If there happens to be a charge, it runs from $10 to $20. The rule to follow regarding credit is pay your debts and don't make them, or don't make them. Pay your debts or don't make them. Pay your debts or don't make them. I pretty much live as much as I can by don't make it. If I ain't got the money to get it, I'm not spending. Maybe it hurt me. Maybe it hurt me. You know, I would like to think it helped, but I'd have to come back over my lifetime and check it out. But I think it's helped me more than it has hurt me. The rule to follow regarding credit is pay your debts or don't make them. Do not make it a habit to rip off stores and businesses who trust you with a credit account to obtain their merchandise. You will be sorry in the end. Of course, there are times when you really need some counseling on spending or repairing your credit. Of course, there are some times when you really need some counseling on spending or repairing your credit, and they got plenty of people who do this. They are online at customer credit counseling to learn how to stop spending. www.powersource, or look them up in your phone book. Well, people don't do that no more. You must get used to the idea of money. Learn how to make up a budget. They will teach you free. This info can change your entire spending habits and enable you to make more progress financially. Handling money is not an easy thing to do. It seems that this culture has produced a system of brainwashing through advertising, so that every time you get some money, 1,000 things pop up in your head about what you need to spend it on. This is how we have been programmed, and we did not tell you about this, and now you are following in our footsteps of spending wildly. And you have not learned to support Black businesses. Try making it a practice to spend some money in a Black-owned store or with a Black vendor at least once a week. This is not a lot considering the fact that you spend every other penny you have in white-owned or Asian-owned businesses. You have to consciously remember this because it is so easy to spend without thinking about how or who you're spending it with. That's how you have been trained. There is the frequent occasion when you feel that the white sales clerk or a waiter discriminates against you or behaves in a way that lets you know that they are racist against Blacks. When this happens, try not to overreact and become violent. You get angry because the worst feeling in the world is for us to feel that we are denied something or treated discourteously because of our color. This is a pain that none of us can ever really explain in words. The poverty of the English language prevents us from ever adequately articulating this. If you had known from birth that this situation existed, you would be able to handle it differently and not be so affected by it. We should have made it a non-issue. Just because you are on the earth does not mean that everyone will like you. Just because you are on the earth does not mean that everyone will like you. That's for damn sure. Just because you are on this earth or on the earth does not mean that everyone would like you. Your purpose for being on the earth is not to try. We have already spent too much time frustrated because no matter what we do, we cannot stop whites from the devalue and be successful. Go about your own business and be successful. One sure thing success brings. You don't care too much about what others think of you when you got it going on. You don't care too much about what others think about you when you got it going on. But when you are poor and feel useless, love and appreciation. But when you are poor and feel useless love or appreciation from others takes on an exaggerated importance. Our people have made it a lifelong goal, an insatiable quest to get white people to love and recognize them as their equals. Hell yeah. Our people have made it a lifelong goal, an insatiable quest to get white people to love and recognize them as their equals. This has been the Black Challenge for 135 years. It's like a TikTok challenge, huh? TikTok challenge, see if we can get white people to like us first. This has been the Black Challenge for 135 years. More dangerous than the Crate Challenge. More dangerous than a Crate Challenge. Despite the fact that it'll never happen. And once more, it doesn't have to happen for you to thrive. It sure doesn't. We live in a country where the pursuit of economic gain for self-interest is considered necessary for the common good of society. Translated, this means it's all about the money. The best way to get back at people who racially abuse you is not to spend any of your money with them. I like that. I like that. The best way to get back at people, go on a spend with other nations strike. The same way they boycotted the buses. Same way they boycotted the buses and other stuff, man. You could go on a spending strike. Only spend with your people, man. Find the people that sell it. Yeah, it may take some doing, you know. It may take some doing. Start growing your own stuff. See how you can get it. Spend with your own people. If we did that, I bet we'd be a lot better. I bet we'd be a lot better. Than participating in a one-time fight or telling your story to the newspaper. Cancel. Your vote may not have much power, but your wallet makes a loud sound in the marketplace. It would be wonderful to have a generation who did not keep going to court to sue white people because they made a racist remark. Legal action in the public against a privately owned white business for all the world to see clearly says that you are overly concerned about what white people think of you. A big racial lawsuit often yields a nice piece of money, but since it is impossible to force love, you make yourself look foolish no matter how much you get. This does not mean to accept or tolerate rampant disrespect. We first must learn to respect each other. We first must learn to respect each other. Yeah. When you treat each other badly, it does not seem to matter as much because you don't care what another black person thinks of you. We are not important enough to each other. We must prepare for shows of discrimination. We must be prepared for shows of discrimination. If you suffer discrimination from a government agency, then you have the reason to pursue it legally because all government-funded facilities are supported by our taxes, and we have the right to expect equal treatment there. So business rips you off. Number 4, contact and write a report to the Council of Better Business Bureaus, 1400 Wilson Boulevard, Arlington, VA, 22203. And I guess you got the number too. She give you the number. 703-276-0100. The National Fraud Information Center of 815 15th Street, Northwest Suite 928, Washington, D.C., 2005, 2005. Number 202-634-8140. Toll-free hotline 800-876-7060. The Federal Trade Commission, 6th Street and Pena Avenue, Northwest Room 130, Washington, D.C., 20580. For new and used car purchases and others. There are no charge to use the agencies above, and they will give you experience in dealing with the business people. Sometimes it works. We pay taxes to support these institutions, so use them. This is not begging, so go for it. What do we blacks spend our money on? As mentioned, we handle about $500 billion a year, and the 1996 survey from Target Market News in Chicago, called The Buying Power of Black America, revealed that we spend almost $20 billion a year on clothes or apparel, about $2.2 billion on sodas or pop or soft drinks, whatever you call it. $11 billion on cars and trucks and vans, new. $3.2 billion on electronics and sound systems and boxes. About $2 billion on entertainment or leisure. $3.1 billion on education, and about $42 billion on food, grub, something to eat. $10 billion on telephone services and sales. $4.2 billion in travel and hotels or motels. Personal care products, services, hair and nails, $4.3 billion. $11.1 billion on healthcare and sickness. And surprisingly, $5.9 billion on contributions and donations. This obviously does not represent the entire $500 billion, but it gives you a general idea of where our money goes. What are you doing with your share? What are you doing with your share? Also, this study was a few years ago. We spend even more now. Hell yeah. Subscribe to Black Enterprise Magazine to find out what's going on in the Black business world. They list the largest businesses, but there are many other small businesses or home businesses which do not appear in Black Enterprise. Just pick one up sometime and browse through it. They list current business trends and give advice on a multitude of Black business issues revolving around our $500 billion. $500 billion is $500,000 million. $500 billion is written like this: 500,000,000,000,000.00. A lot of zeros. That's $5 billion $100 bills. 5 billion hundred. These figures are astronomical and exceed your imagination at the moment. Salary, wages, or paychecks. If you want to earn $100,000 a year, you just have to figure out how to make $274 a day, or $11.14 an hour, and 20 cents a minute per every 24 hours. For $50,000, for $5.70 an hour. But you got to work every day, every hour, for 24 hours. Or 10 cents a minute around the clock. How much do you want to make? How much do you need to live? Good questions. As you can tell, making that kind of money is not out of the possibilities open to you if you get your act together. However, do remember that it is unhealthy to work more than 16 hours a day. Also, remember that day sleep is not the same as night sleep, and you can never put sleep off and hope to catch up on it at another time. Once you lose rest, you have lost it for good. It is gone. Working, going to work, getting work done, and looking at your work is very inspiring. Work is very purifying and gives you purpose to get something done. It is possible to find some work you love and can at least tolerate. All legitimate work is honorable no matter how much money you make. Always do your best. No slave work. Many of you are staying at home with us. Have a job, but do not want to contribute any money to the ruin or the running of the household. It is often very hard to get you to pay utility bills, pay the cable or phone, or help with the rent. You feel as if, since you are still just at home, that you should not help pay on anything, even though you work and are grown. Again, this is our fault because we did not teach you about taking responsibility for your food or shelter. So you grew up thinking any money you earn is yours to spend as you choose. You don't get taught how to write a check or fill out a money order. Hmm. We didn't show you the utility bills or the rent receipt or house note. We mistakenly thought it was none of your business. Consequently, you never learned how to handle denial of your wants. Consequently, you never learned how to handle denial of your wants or to work in exchange for getting something. We allowed you to even expect something special just for helping to clean up around the house. That room and your poor rearing makes you even refuse to do that in a timely fashion. You cannot pass up on tradition of helping with the family survival because we never taught you that. You cannot pass on a tradition of helping with the family survival because we never taught you that. We mistakenly taught you to be self-centered or selfish, only concerned with self-gratification of your own needs. Today, you are hell bent on having deserve to get whatever you want with no delay. You are willing to do all sorts of things, take all kinds of chances, and work any kind of swindle to get the item you want. This includes fake injuries to get a case. It can look like free money if you have a legal case where you can sue a business and get paid. The issue here is not about how the process raises insurance rates for everyone. It is an issue of character. A good person has no need to lie to get money or trick someone to get money or steal to get money. Unfor- or trick someone to get money, steal to get money. Unfortunately, your addiction to money makes you overcome any guilt you have or you may feel about the wrongness of what you do. Everybody, or excuse me, every day, you're being tricked out of what you have by people who see your face and prey on you like a vulture and will promise you anything to get your money. We get sucked in the same way and are powerless to stop you now. We did not teach you about fabric quality, wholesale or retail pricing, buying in quantity to save money, or co-op shopping to get a better price. We skipped the lessons on money and taught you to be a blind consumer. The Asians and the Arabs were getting the good deal. Many of you pass by black street vendors and turn your nose up at them as if they are an embarrassment to you. You opt to shop in the fabulous and well decorated stores with the bright lights and signs, with plush carpets and loud music playing. You need constant visual stimulation to prompt you to buy. You need certain colors, sounds, and atmosphere because that's how the advertisers programmed you to react. We should have tried to prevent you from this hypnosis, but we didn't. Instead, we set an example of showing excitement when we heard there was a sale, proudly showing the stuff we bought to friends and neighbors, the excitement of preparation of going to town, and the pleasures that showed on our faces when we brought something and handed our cashier our money. We even taught you to dress up extremely special to go to church, and we literally turned it into a fashion show as it is today. What we demonstrated was that there is some kind of special satisfaction in buying something. As a result of these terrible examples, today we have to watch you throwing your money up in the air. We are in constant pursuit of getting some money so you can buy something. The teenage boys among you know that if you are going to have a girlfriend, you have better have money to take care of her hair and nails. It's some sort of given. Not by me. It's some sort of given. Expected. It has been part of a trade. You teenage girls feel no hang-ups about asking and telling your teenage boyfriends that you want him to pay for your hair and nails or nails. The girls buy excessively expensive running suits, sneakers, leather coats, and such for their boyfriend's birthday or Christmas. The boys offer gold jewelry, clothes, or diamonds. Sky is the limit, with no consideration given to the large sums of money spent for gift giving between high school students. Now you could use that and put it on the car. You can put that on down payment for some land. Man. If only I could go back with the things I know now. Oh, boy. Things I know now. You are setting up a level of exchanging expensive gifts with each other because you believe, as we taught you, that your feelings or sincerity, appreciation, or love can be measured by the amount of money you spend on somebody. But it's not true. However, this is exactly how the stores want you to feel so that they can count on your expressions of love to make them rich. You are being played on, and you think you're just making innocent efforts to look nice. So the issue is not just that you are not shopping in black-owned stores. The issue is that you have to be tricked into giving up your money regularly, and you think it's your own idea. Buying makes you feel good because you accomplished something. You exercise absolute freedom of choice and make a business transaction. Spending money is easy to do. Learning how to hold on to your money is not easy. Think of it like coming off of an addiction. Hold on to your money. Only buy what you absolutely must have. How many people gonna do that? Think of it like coming off of an addiction that makes us give away 500 billion a year. Start with 1 week. Hold on to your money. Only buy what you absolutely must have. Put away the rest. Try to dig yourself and try to monitor the panic you experience when you see something. Experiment with this until you are able to recognize that it is obvious that we, the blacks, are programmed to respond in a certain way under similar circumstances. The money test. Do that. The money test. Let's call it the money test. Only buy what you absolutely must have. Only buy what you absolutely must have. Put away the rest. Try to dig yourself and try to monitor the panic you experience when you see something you want and have the money to buy it, but have to decline. Let's call it the money test. Let's call it the money test. Experiment with this until you are able to recognize that it is obvious that we, the blacks, are programmed to respond in a certain way under similar circumstances.
Eventually, you will find other things to do with the time you spent window shopping, getting hypnotized, and will be surprised how much money you save. Hopefully, you will be able to do this at least 1 week a month. Please do not let them continue to rip you off like they ripped us off by getting us strung out on clothes and shoes and fine things. It's a trick and only about the money. This is not recommended that you live in stark poverty and deny yourself every little thing you want. The suggestion is for you to cut down on the amount you spend on clothes and shoes. You can still look nice. You are the best model of human life the world has to offer. You are beautiful even without all of your brand name high cost wardrobe. All in all, the real reason we distracted you with so many trinkets and exposed you to so many choices as your maternal and paternal desire to protect you. Excuse me. All in all, the real reason we distracted you with so many trinkets and exposed you to so many choices was our maternal and paternal desire to protect you from the harsh realities of wanting. We believe that because of our childhood poverty, that you should have stuff to make up for what we ourselves missed. It was a bad idea. While you may not think that the white people today are responsible for what their ancestors did to us in slavery, please know that all of them benefit from that system in one way or another, and you don't benefit at all. Throughout the entire world, they work to establish themselves as the ruling class, and they believe that they deserve to rule because of their superior intelligence and color. But they are not smarter than you. And as long as they keep you intoxicated from spending, they control your destiny. Uh, we got a couple more pages. We'll do a couple more. Black adults. Many black adults have been working for years to convince the American government to give blacks reparations. Reparations is an idea that demands money based on the fact that our ancestors built this country with free labor because they were slaves and never received any wages, or the promised 40 acres and a mule to get started in a life of freedom after slavery ended in about 1865. Ever since that time, there have been groups who think that we have a good chance at getting reparations or money because the Japanese and the Indians got some for when the government sanctioned imprisoning and killing them and robbing them, the Indians, of their land. Money has been asked for in various sums, usually from about 50,000 to 1 million per African American. Do not hold your breath waiting for this to happen. It never will. Do not hold your breath waiting for this to happen. It never will. Yet there are groups who have organizations set up mostly to just keep reminding us and the government that we should be paid for the work our ancestors did in slavery. This also would be difficult to prove because most of us have no record as to who our ancestors were or what they did during slavery. So we cannot put a price tag on it. Trace your roots. This is another job you can learn to do at home and offer as a service to people. Inquiring minds want to know where they come from. That's why that Ancestry.com line and stuff is making so much money. We should have told you that in this country, when the government wishes to destroy a people and keep their hands clean at the same time, they give them destructive materials so they can commit genocide on themselves. And historically, they are recorded as giving the Indians alcohol and guns, and they gave you drugs and guns. And as a bonus, they figured out how to make a lot of money and recover from drugs, alcohol, and the subsequent crimes they produce. And then they create jobs for themselves by pretending to treat us and help us overcome and recover from drugs, alcohol, and the subsequent crimes they produce. So it is unlikely that we will ever get any reparation cash. It's still something to examine. I am not saying that the government does not owe us reparations, because they do. I am just saying that they will forever refuse to pay us any. Currently, some of your parents are seeking and waiting for an apology for slavery from the United States government. But the president knows that if he ever apologizes, it will be interpreted as an acknowledgement and will fuel the demands for reparations. So in order to keep a lid on that idea, the government remains non-committal and suggests we look towards the future instead of the past. Easier said than done. The lessons is not to focus too much of your energy on trying to get white people to treat you right. They have no history of doing so. Excuse me just a second. Let me go check on my boys right quick. Excuse me. Yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Excuse me, my bad. We should have told you that this country, when the government wishes to destroy people, already did. When Barack Obama was elected the first recognized African American president of the United States, we were all happy that a black man finally got a chance to be a president. The majority of our people worked diligently day and night to make sure he was elected. Whatever we expected, it didn't turn out the way, and we are once again disappointed in a political system that promises only to deceive. Obama's election was inspirational, but not transformational. Meaning, it made us feel good, but the ugliness of racism was waiting on him in the White House, and he and his family were insulted, mocked, and treated badly. Another thing we should have told you is that it is practically pointless to put your faith in this political system currently operating in America. On the local level, you can sometimes see some progress in city services or schools or libraries and so forth. But as you move to the state government level or the federal level in Washington, D.C., your chances of getting some benefits from the political operation are slim to none. If you do get anything, it takes a lifelong battle that kills your spirit. So I heard. We should have told you that they tricked us back in the 60s into believing that the right to vote would eventually solve all our problems, socially and educationally and politically. They made voting sound as if it were the solution. It was not. As stated, we represent only 10% of the population. So we are confined to less than 10% of political representation on the state and federal levels. No matter what our needs are, the white or black politicians can only give us 10% of consideration in the decision they make. Damn, you know that. Even more reason to say, then why do it? It's only 10%. While to us, this looks unfair, remember that the numbering process was set up to be unfair to us from the beginning. We should have explained to you that one man, one vote, majority rules. In our case means we are never going to be in the majority And even if all 30 million of us voted for something, we are outnumbered 10 to 1. That's the system, and based on the mathematical rules, we cannot get ahead using the political arena in America. We have a few black politicians who are nationally known and who pretend that they are a real player in American politics, and they speak up for the American system. Yet they are mostly ineffective as nothing more than tokens. We have a lot of other black mayors who sometimes manage to get a few contract benefits for black business owners, but other than that, you ain't got nothing coming from politics. We are systematically taxed for benefits we do not receive. We pay taxes yet get fewer benefits than other nationalities for our tax dollars. This means we have taxation without representation. Based on these considerations, while welfare is primarily designed to destroy our motivation, limit your choices by making you dependent on someone else instead of self, and it releases the father of the welfare child of his responsibilities. It is a form of support to help you bide your time until you figure how to better your condition. But recognize that there is nothing wrong with being on welfare if you need it, because it may be the only form of reparations you ever get uh, other than Social Security benefits or disability compensation. Think of it as a reparation installment payments. Consider welfare as your 40 acres and a mule. Except only use it to get on your feet by using the time you're not working to read and study about your idea of a job. Welfare is not your monthly allowance supplied so you can go to the mall and shop, get your hair and nails done or nails done. Do not plan your entire life around the short live to be beneficial and makes you lazy. The same goes for men on welfare who get it because of disabling themselves from drug addiction, mental illness, or back injury. Get your head together and stop hiding behind recovery. All of this makes you lazy and unmotivated. Oh, yes. Like my grandfather said, the longer you don't work, the more you're not going to want to work. And it's true. It is true. I believe that it is true. To persist in being on welfare, because just getting enough money to ease by, barely surviving, is not the lifestyle you deserve. You deserve much more, and you are qualified to get much more if you understand the system you are living in. As you have probably heard, the government is making it a bit more difficult to get welfare and are limiting the time on it to 2 to 3 years max. The social workers at the welfare office have received a mandate from their state governments to initiate consultations with welfare recipients about their future conversations with welfare recipients about their future plans for survival without welfare. There's also a new way of distributing food stamps. You no longer have to buy a book of coupons. You no longer will have, a book of coupons. There is now a plastic debit card that functions in the grocery store like a credit card, and you charge your purchases against the amount of food budget allocated. This is good because unscrupulous store cashiers have been accepting food stamps for everything from televisions to cars to clothes, and is to find the absent fathers and force them to pay child support by threat of imprisonment, or they take their tax refund checks as a form of payback to the government for taking care of their offspring. We should have told you that they would not take care of you or your children forever. The government complains about the high cost of welfare, but most of the cost is due to their mismanagement of their system. About 68 cents of welfare dollars goes to administration, the people who operate the program. 68 cents of every welfare dollar goes to administration. Man. So that leaves you with 32 cents. 32 cents off the dollar. Some of you are so devastated and confused by all the wrong information you have been taught that you are virtually unable to function. You don't know how to go to work, stay there all day, and do a job or repeat this process 5 days a week. We did not program you to work. In fact, we made you think that work was a burden and something to be tolerated to get money and that we hated it. The purpose of working is to make money to survive and better the world. When you perform a job, you're useful. You perform a job, you perform this job as a career to get better and better at it. And to help others, and to help others. One more page. Work gives you a personal reason for living. It allows you to be productive, to produce need. Oh yes. Oh yes. I believe in that one. I think it helps twofold. It helps you with the experience, and you're showing brotherly love. You can do this in schools, hospitals, daycare centers, nursing homes, churches, and or at any nonprofit organization. This is also a good way to get training and learn how to act in the place of work. You can pick up a lot of work tips free on your own time and schedule. Sometimes when you volunteer in a place and a job opening comes up, they will give the job to you because they already know you and trust you. Try it one day a week. Get in touch with how the world operates. Surround yourself with activity. Some places will even allow you to bring your baby. That's the ones I need to find. Some places will even allow you to bring your baby or babies. Some of you need to get out of the country and get exposed to other lifestyles and other races. There are ways to get out of America and travel, which do not require you to join the military. Work for a cruise ship. Get out of here and see other parts of the world. You are not locked in. All information about everything is now available online. Check out how to get a job on a cruise ship and list of cruise lines and the travel and hospitality career directory or jobs just for people who like to travel. You don't have to limit your job search to your neighborhood fast food selection. You need to get out of town anyway. Some of these books may be available in your library. These are just a few suggestions. People in their countries possibly get interested in importing or exporting merchandise or moving there to live permanently. You can also inquire about trips to the Panama Canal, West Caribbean, and Africa, and other continents. Consider leaving here and seeking your fortune someplace else. These jobs can be as dance partners. You can do this. Party or dinner escorts, game leaders, entry-level jobs, internships, entertainers, photographers, teen counselors, senior citizen helpers. There are all sorts of opportunities for you to investigate so you can better your condition. Do not let fear stop you from getting to a better life in another place. You have little to leave behind. Oh man. That was section 2. Money. Ooh, there was a lot in there, man. There was a lot in there. A lot in there. I like that last part, man, about the stuff you can do. There's so many jobs you can do. But it's about bringing that stuff back, man. Bringing that money back like the other nations bring their money back to their nation. We can build our own nation up. We can have our own everything again. Where we don't have to go to nobody else. And you could do it as the money test. What you say, the money test? The money test. How many of y'all willing to do the money test? That was section 2, money. For the things your parents should have told you by Sister Shaharazad Ali. So far, it's turned out to be definitely a lot of info. A lot of info. Good book, make you think, or should make you think. Should make the things about think about the things that you're teaching your own children, the things that you were taught as children. See, are you replaying those same things in your children's life? Because if you are, you're going to lead them in the same disadvantages you've had. Unless you were taught those things. Unless you were taught about credit and unless you're taught about the things that she's saying that a lot of us didn't get taught. But man, thank y'all for rocking with me. That's it for tonight, man. Till next time, reading with Shilo. Like, comment on the thing. See what y'all got to say. For YouTube, subscribe, share, tell your people. Let's keep learning and growing. Let's see what we can do, man. Let's better ourselves. Let's better our children. Let's better our family structures. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. It's going to take some time and it's going to take some doing. But we can do it, man. Some sacrifice. We can do it. Next time, section 3, education. Education. But that's it, man. Shilo out. Shalom. Happy Sabbath to everybody that's keeping the Sabbath. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Y'all have y'all a nice night. That's that.